And I think when we talk to these ideas of, because, on that video we were talking about earlier, I think it was a question of, can I just have one drink? And yeah, there are plenty of people who can. That is absolutely true. But there are a lot of people, and I'm going to argue like a whole lot of people who like have that one and then think about it and question it. And
Like,
maybe they go forward and have 5 more or 10 more if you're me, or maybe they just feel uneasy, or maybe they don't know.
Scott Pinyard is always ready. Glad to hear it, man. Um,
Always. Yes.
so this podcast is inspired by an angry commenter, and there's been a few of these like over the years, making podcasts and videos, and
Mm,
often the comments that come into the comment section, like on a video or whatever, the ones that are angry say something like, "Stop lying, like I can have a drink, stop trying to spray me with your fucking addiction stuff." And it's funny because it feels to me like it kind of harks back to this old binary, this old dynamic of sort of like, there are those people over there who are kind of alcoholics, and there are those people over there who can drink with impunity, and they've got
yeah.
nothing to worry about. And people have to, I don't doubt for a second that many people have been have been really helped by some of the more traditional methods of stopping drinking or anything, whatever the substance or behavior might be. But I think we're more and more in a world now where it's being accepted and honored that it's a spectrum, and there's for sure there are loads of people who drink or smoke weed or whatever, and they never really fall into a particularly troubling pattern of use. There's a lot of people that are in that category. A lot of
Hmm.
those people are like that, and then they do find themselves in something troubling. There are people who very, very quickly, we talk about the gray area drinking scared a lot, very quickly become like quite problematic with their drinking. And it's just a fun, it just seems to me that that comment and that anger comes from this idea that me or you or anybody who's working in this sort of, what would you call it? I don't know what you call it, the addiction world or the sober curious world or whatever it
Yeah.
might be,
Yeah.
that we're telling people what to do, and there's no part of me that wants to tell anybody what to do. I'm pretty sure that's the same for you, right?
100%. I mean, to me, the thing that is interesting, the thing that is cool about this conversation, the thing that is engaging is the idea of the curiosity of it. Like you were talking about different people in like sort of like different ways that we can have an alcohol journey. I'm one of those people that went down that rabbit hole fast. Like within 5 years of starting drinking, I was squarely in the problematic category. And then I went another 10 years. And like, so like for me, this sort of content stumbling on this, it would have hit something, and it would have hit something that maybe either I would have recognized myself in, or I would have been like, fuck off, which is totally fine and completely understandable. But I think what we're trying to speak to is more of the fact that a lot of people are questioning a lot of things, and we're looking at a lot of different parts of our lives. And one of those parts of life that, at least for you and I and Ellie, like, that we examined and we found it to not be what we thought it was, and we decided to move in a different direction, that one particular piece is drinking. And I think when we talk to these ideas of, because I on that video we were talking about earlier, I think it was a question of, can I just have one drink? And yeah, there are plenty of people who can. That is absolutely true. But there are a lot of people, and I'm going to argue like a whole lot of people who like have that one and then think about it and question it. And
Like,
maybe they go forward and have 5 more or 10 more if you're me, or maybe they just feel uneasy, or maybe they don't know. That's who we're like, the conversation we want to have is this like wide sort of range of experiences.
yeah. I mean, ultimately, if people, the growing crowd of people who are finding themselves in what's often spoken about as the sober curious movement, or people that are kind of going, actually, I've figured out that if we're going out on a Thursday night to meet a friend, I'll grab an alcohol free beer. Because if I do drink that one beer, I'm not really getting anything from it, or it's not really doing anything. Or, like me or you, I end up staying out until 6 a.m. and going clubbing at what,
That's what I was absolutely known for, was clubbing.
wasn't it?
Like, this looks like a face you'd see at the club, right? Yeah.
Shit. Yeah, it depends what kind of club. There's rock clubs, man. Come
That's a
on.
good point. We're gonna get ourselves in trouble quickly, but yes,
Well, that's in
that's
the
a good point.
electronic music bracket. Um, yeah, who knows? I mean, there's infinite amounts of clubs you could have been going to. I don't know.
That there
Um,
are. That's a different podcast.
Trek Club, the Trekkie Club. You know. Anyway, we digress. But yeah, no, this is it. And so
Yeah.
I just want to. It's just the reason why I wanted to just quickly make this very short video is because it's just a comment that's come up loads. People that watch something about like as you said, it was called "Why You Can't Have One Drink," and we were talking about the science of it, and why is it
Mm.
very very hard to have one? But people who are going to read that, why can't you have just one drink? They're the people that they're going to go, oh yeah, that's me, right?
Yeah.
Someone doesn't give a shit. And if you're not in the sober curious movement, going and spraying your anger around, like it's clearly the video's not been made for you, right?
Yeah.
We're not kind of speaking to you, and we're certainly not trying to tell anybody what to do. And I mean,
Yeah.
I say this a lot. It's not my fight to try and be in a world without alcohol or something like or anything. This
I'm
is
with
a
you.
personal
Yeah.
opinion. My personal opinion is that people should be educated. People should be able to alter their consciousness in whatever way they want, but they should know the risks. They should know the benefits if there are any potentially, and they should be able to make their own informed decisions and not be marketed skew with bullshit. As the
Yeah.
science is updated, like you think about the journey we went on with tobacco, for example, or cigarettes, like
Mhm.
how there was a leveling out of the reality versus versus
Yeah.
dogs that smoke camels.
Yes.
Like, you
9
ask
out of
your
10
doctor
doctors.
about having, it's like, come on. So yeah, I mean, it just seemed like we would respond, like respond to all people who'd ever put one of those comments on our videos
Yeah.
or got annoyed or angry. I mean, people are still going to get an angry ass, like, one look at that beard or one look at this
Obviously.
and fucking the rage comes. So
Yeah. But I think it's interesting too, like, we wanna have like you were saying, Sam, we wanna have the conversation about all of it, like the whole spectrum of experience with alcohol, and that's gonna include people who maybe, you know, have one and want a second one and don't like that, all the way up to people who, like me, like, can't go 24 hours without drinking, like, it's all part of the same conversation, and it's interesting to me that, like, as we as the culture is shifting, because it certainly is, right? Like we're seeing NA options at more places, more and more people are opting out. Like I think our goal, or I wouldn't say our goal, I'll say my goal, like I don't want to I want to have a conversation where everybody's welcome. Every single person who wants to participate is welcome, right? And to have a world where that's the case. And I feel like that's what we're trending toward.
I think essential to this also is the whole it's never about the amount. What one person might be drinking one glass
Yeah.
of whatever. I've worked with a number of people who
Same. Yeah.
have been drinking what a lot of people would be like, but isn't that the dream? But they're not really seeing what's going on. The whole we compare our outsides to people's insides. No, our insides to other people's outsides.
There you go.
How does it go?
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
You're
So
right.
like, have a look at like all of this internal stuff that we've got going on and be like, oh, but look at that person. They're just having that, or they're just having two beers, and we don't see that person then having to like use all this willpower or stressing out or going home and drinking secretly or just having the one drink and then feeling I don't want
Yeah.
to, and there'll be other people for whom they're drinking more than that. And it's really just, they're like, yeah, fuck it. Like, it's not,
Mhm.
no, it's just, that's how I want to live. Like, okay, cool. Like, I'm very much of the whole, if we're not hurting anyone else, like, we should be free to be able to do what we want to do. Um,
I'm with you.
but yeah,
So
that's
to
it.
that person then that said, like, do they actually say "fuck off"? I can
Oh,
have just
no, I
one?
don't know if there was actually I don't know if there was it was pretty aggy. I mean, often I think the annoyance, I'm guessing, comes from the idea that they're being, "Don't you try and tell me what to do. Stop
Yes.
lying," I think was the comment.
Ah, right. Well, here's the thing, like, to that person, like, if you can do that and that works for you, hallelujah. Like,
Yeah,
we're happy for you.
yeah.
Like, that like, truly, like, that's the case. And Yeah, that clarification that we are not trying to convince anyone. Like, I would never do that. I would never I mean, you hear this in these circles all the time, like, you can't convince someone to quit drinking or convince someone to change. Lord knows people try very hard, and it usually has disastrous consequences. That's not what we're up to here.
No, no, no. Awesome. So yeah, if you're in the sober you're curious thing, you're in it, I would imagine, for good reason. You felt the kind of curiosity or the intuition to explore it. And if you're not, and you're feeling angered at our videos, scroll on.
What is that thing you say? Can we say jog on? Isn't that
Jog-
a thing you say?
yeah, but that's
I
slightly more provocative. Like jog on, mate. Is it? You know, like you say,
alright,
like scroll on is much softer. Jog on
okay.
is something you might say.
I don't
Jog,
know.
you know, like that. Do one, but you know,
Okay.
I guess either way.
I do not mean that in a mean way. I apologize. We got a translation error there.
I'm fine. Right. Awesome. Hilarious. I think we're done. That's a wrap, as
That's
they say.
good.
Peace.
Okay. Bye.